A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to Newsline. The pleasure is, as always, is mine to have you on board. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak. Tonight, a manifest is filled with stories that may stir a little turbulence of emotion, offer a few smooth landings of hope, and maybe even spring a surprise or two. But there are also some stories that will make you wonder how someone could lie in a hospital bed forgotten for years. Now others will explore how vows like, the I do till death do us part, that kind of thing, sometimes hit turbulence midair. And speaking of vows, nothing equals devotion quite like music, and it keeps its promises long after the band stops playing. Every old school tune still whispers, I still do, across time and memory. So if you love those timeless old melodies, that makes two of us, because somehow they outfly even time itself. So our flight path tonight will glide through emotions, events, and encounters that tell our collective story. Always reaching, always rising, because in every corner of this country called Nigeria, something remarkable is happening. Sometimes quietly, sometimes in full view. And who knows, one of tonight's stories may have unfolded just around your neighborhood. So whether you're watching under city lights in Abuja or from the quiet corners of your living room in the States, get ready. This is flight 009 p.m. from the network service of the NTA here in Abuja, about to take off. Seatbelts fastened? Let's begin. Our first stop, the news segment, coming up in just a moment. And President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Rome, the capital of Italy, for the Abuja Process Heads of State and Government level meeting, with special focus on the security crisis in West Africa. The presidential airplane landed at the Rome Fiumicino International Airport at approximately 7:20 local time this Sunday evening. The meeting, which will begin on Tuesday, is scheduled to bring together heads of state and governments, senior intelligence and military officials from African countries, and representatives of intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations to discuss the evolving security challenges in West Africa. The Abuja Process Meeting, a counter-terrorism initiative, was launched by King Abdullah II of Jordan in 2015. It is co-chaired by the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Italian government. This edition recognizes the complex security challenges confronting West Africa, including the expansion of terrorist networks, the growing crime-terror nexus, and the increasing overlap between land-based terrorism in the Sahel and the maritime piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The meeting will discuss ideas on how to coordinate efforts to counter terror, combat online radicalization, and disrupt digital networks that facilitate terrorism propaganda and recruitment. Now, in a statement, the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated that in addition to attending the plenary sessions of the Abuja meeting, President Tinubu will hold bilateral talks with other leaders to explore ways of addressing the rising security challenges across the sub-region. And back home, Olayemi Cardoso, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, will lead Nigeria's delegation to the World Bank and International Monetary Fund annual meeting in Washington, D.C., which opens on Monday, October 13th. Cardoso, as the alternate governor, replaces the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edo, who is indisposed. The Nigerian team will also comprise the Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka Anete. According to the World Bank, the elements of the annual meetings include Development Committee plenary session, which will hold on October 16, and the International Monetary and Financial Committee meetings on October the 17th. Other events include regional briefings, press conferences, and fora focused on international development, the global economy, and financial markets. Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa has reaffirmed federal government's commitment to constructive engagement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, towards a sustainable resolution of all outstanding issues in the university system, emphasizing that the government has shown its sincerity and goodwill in addressing most of ASU's concerns, including increased teaching allowances and improved conditions of service. Remaining matters, he notes, fall under the jurisdiction of the newly reconstituted University Governing Councils. The minister expresses disappointment that despite the government's meeting agreed deadlines and presenting its position, ASU opted for industrial action rather than continuing dialogue, describing it as unfair to students and the public, especially given the government's demonstrable efforts to ensure stability in the education sector. Reiterating the federal government's commitment under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the ministers maintained that dialogue remains the best path to resolving disputes. Alausa reminds the public that the no work, no pay policy remains an extant labor law and will guide government action should academic activities be disrupted. The minister assures students, parents and stakeholders of government's dedication to maintaining industrial harmony and safeguarding the academic calendar. They urge ASU to return to the dialogue table in the best interest of the students and the nation's higher education system. And the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has directed all its chapters nationwide to commence a 2-week warning strike from midnight, Monday, October the 13th, 2025, following the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum issued to the federal government. ASU President Professor Chris Piuna announced this at an emergency press briefing in Abuja on Sunday. He said the decision became necessary due to the government's failure to address critical issues affecting the university system, despite repeated engagements and assurances. The union could no longer bear endless appeals without tangible outcomes. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited (NNPC) Foundation has continued to strengthen livelihood of rural farmers through bold initiatives that embodies hope, resilience, and sustainability. More than 15,000 smallholder farmers nationwide have so far been trained in climate-smart agriculture under the Foundation's Vulnerable Farmers Training Program, with over 4,000 from the northeast benefiting. Joseph Zana Gambo reports.
Over 2,000 smallholder farmers drawn from Gombe, Adamawa and Taraba State in the Northeast region participated in a 2-day training on climate-smart agriculture under the Vulnerable Farmers Training Program of the NNPC Foundation. The initiative is aimed at equipping farmers with improved planting techniques, access to market, packaging and marketing strategies to boost resilience, sustainability and food security.
The aim of this is to ensure that they are empowered, they have the training on modern tools, on both soil science and how to treat, different ways that they can do the farming to ensure that food security.
We are very excited. Our presence here, you have shown how excited we are.
The future commitments of the foundation will depend on our performance.
Certificates were presented to participants, among whom was the physically challenged, gifted 1 carton of liquid fertilizer as a mark of encouragement from the Gombe State government.
Really, this training is one of its kind. I've never seen a training like this. It's just a 2-day program, but it was filled with a lot of activities.
It has impacted us a lot about the new techniques involved in farming.
The event marked the closing ceremony of the first phase of the NNPC Foundation training for 15,000 vulnerable farmers across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In Gombe, Joseph Zanagambo, NTA News.
And in line with the federal government's drive to strengthen digital governance and improve service delivery across sectors, Nigeria's digital backbone, Galaxy Backbone, is taking a fresh look at the quality of its services as it supports both government and private establishments. Tim Dimma Ndubisi reports that the agency engaged its collaborative partners to chart a new course towards more effective and satisfactory service delivery.
Ministries, departments and agencies of government are rapidly transiting from analog to digital in alignment with the federal government's push for full digital transformation. One of government entities providing internet connectivity, cloud services and cybersecurity applications is the Galaxy Backbone. Setting a new tone on delivering quality service, the organization is deepening collaboration with government and private agencies, identifying service gaps and working to deliver faster, more reliable and secure digital solutions that support the nation's growing e-governance vision.
I want us to see this week as the start of a new path, a path where you are not just recipients of service, but partners in progress.
We are expected to be the sole control, to be in sole control of all our data in the public sector.
It's all about delivering on the federal government's mandate of driving our digitally connected Nigeria, where technology enhances governance, efficiency, and service delivery. In Abuja, Chimdemma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in the health sector converged in Abuja to brainstorm on ways to enhance local manufacturing and the supply chain for malaria commodities in Nigeria. Now, the event was organized by PVAC and the National Malaria Elimination Program in collaboration with other partners. At the workshop, the national coordinator of the Presidential Initiative on Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain, Dr. Abu Mukhtar, outlined the initiative's mandate to increase locally manufactured healthcare products. He notes that Nigeria currently imports nearly 99% of test kits, 100% of vaccines, and 70 to 80% of generic medicines.
To really seriously address the issue of local manufacturing of malaria healthcare products.
Nigeria will have about 30 million children every year. That alone is a huge market for vaccines. So why can't we produce it? It has been demonstrated in the petroleum sector that it can be done.
We approved R21 malaria vaccine in 2022. Ghana did it first, approval from Serum Institute of India. We were supposed to be the first, but it happens we were the second. My challenge is, where is the vaccine manufacturing now? Can we do it? We have been manufacturing vaccines since 1924, veterinary vaccine.
And a 3-day stakeholders workshop attended by key players in the healthcare sector. And medical experts insist that scaling up mental wellness initiatives involves strategies to broaden access to care, enhance impact, and sustain efforts to promote mental health. This was echoed when mental health experts in the National Hospital Abuja took a wellness campaign train to markets to sensitize residents on the dangers of not paying attention to mental stability.
Available, but are accessible and are equitable to all.
We have drug abuse, we have substance use disorder, we also have PTSD, we also have people from abnormal breath, we also have people that are doing gambling and other, they are all mental illness.
Highlighting stress, financial instability, overthinking and poor diet as risk factors, they recommend regular exercises, engaging communities to heighten awareness and reduce stigma, as well as leveraging teletherapy to increase access to care. And the remains of former governor of Kwara State and one-time Minister of Communications, Chief Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo, have been laid to rest at his country home in Okunigbe in Kwara State. Shala Wahid reports that the funeral service was attended by dignitaries from all walks of life, including the Kwara State Governor, Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak, former Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, and President of the Senate of the 8th Assembly, Dr. Olubukola Saraki, as well as a host of other prominent people.
With a commendation service at the banquet hall of the Kwara State government had various sympathizers describing the deceased as an upright man who was demoralized and a lover of humanity. At his hometown in Okeonigbi, sympathizers converged on All Saints Anglican Church to bid the late icon farewell to the world beyond. In his message, the Archbishop of Kwara Diocese, Most Reverend Israel Amau, noted that no matter how rich and influential one is, death is the end. Thereafter, his body was committed to Mother Earth at the Okeonigbi Cemetery, where the Bishop of Igumina Diocese, Right Reverend Emmanuel Adekola, led other men of God and family members in the burial rites. Guests were later treated to a reception where there was lot to eat and drink. For Segun Adebayo and other children of the deceased, the demise of their father has created a vacuum which will be very difficult to fill.
I got to learn a lot of things from this great man. I'll miss the love.
He was a very, very fair man, and he embraced everyone that he came across.
Guests at the funeral service also described late Cornelius Adebayo as an upright man whose legacies will continue to linger on for a long time.
He was a wonderful man, a statesman, a man who meant so much to us, especially we in Kwara South.
We'll continue to remember him for the great contributions that he did to Kwara State and indeed Nigeria at large.
A pragmatic politician and somebody who has given a very good account of himself.
Late Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo, popularly called CO, was a former senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1979, governor of Kwara State in 1983, and a one-time minister of communications. He is survived by children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. He died on June 25 at the age of 84.
All right, let's quickly bring in Bade Adeleye for sports updates. Bade, we're glad to have the Eagles in Uyo Antwe for Tuesday's match.
Quite interesting to, have them after what happened, yesterday evening. But, they returned to the country earlier today and they are very much ready to prosecute Tuesday's encounter.
I hope so. We'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Until the last day. Right, welcome to sports. Following the arrival in New York on Sunday morning, having had a forced stopover in Angola due to a mid-air challenge, Nigeria's Super Eagles resumed training Sunday evening. All players in camp participated in the training session, which was coordinated by head coach Eric Charlie alongside members of his technical crew as the 2013 African champions plot the downfall of the Cheetahs of Benin Republic in the make-or-break 2026 World Cup qualifier on Tuesday. The team will have their final training session on Monday at 6:30 in the evening. And of course, when it comes to the playoff tournament, let's let you know that the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has confirmed the playoff tournament for the top 4 second-place teams in the African qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in Morocco from November 13 to 16. CAF says the highest-ranked team in the yet-to-be-released October FIFA rankings will meet the least ranked in the first semi-final, with the second and third facing off. The winners of the semi-finals will now meet in the final to determine Africa's sole representative to the intercontinental playoffs. And of course, in other qualifying matches going on at the moment, Ghana's Black Stars are on the verge of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup from Group I. Their nearest challengers, Madagascar, currently trail Mali, with the Ghanaians up against Morocco, Comoros, and of course three others are currently live, with 2 decided already. Niger earlier recorded a 1-0 win away to Zambia, while Chad ended their campaign on a losing note as they fell 2-3 at home to Central African Republic. Let's return home now and talk the Nigeria Premier Football League, as Nasarawa United maintained their lead in the Nigeria Premier Football League with a 2-1 home win over Rangers of Enugu in a wicket encounter. And of course, the Abia Warriors defeated Okanemi Warriors 2-0 to move second, with Enyimba dropping to third after losing 1-0 away to Kun Khalifat, while Katsina United hammered Remo Stars 3-1. In other results, Warri Wolves and Niger Tornadoes played 1-1. Plateau United beat Barawa FC 2-0 in Jos. It ended 1-0 between Wiki Tourist and Kwara United, while Ikorodu City got a slim 1-0 win over Bendel Insurance. The last match of March the 8th will be played on Monday between Rivers United and Bayelsa United. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Claire.
Thank you, Bade, and the way you're ending, Sports Update tonight. I hope we can confidently, come back and say congratulations on Tuesday.
Hopefully, Claire. Hopefully.
All right, let's be optimistic and patriotic. Thank you, Bade. Thank you. All right, let's check the weather forecast for Monday. All right, sorry about that. We don't have weather around. Let's take a break, and when we come back, you know what happens.